Evening everyone, and welcome to Londrina. We're at round 4 of the RDMCC, and we are just about to enter the race. Actually, apologies for coming to you late. There we go, these things do happen. Alongside me tonight, as always, is Mr. Liam Jenkins. How are you, good sir?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Always a pleasure to be here. And again, this round really does promise to be a very vital one. As you can see, the standings on the left-hand side, it is Lee Ross. He will start from the front of the field, and if he wants to win his championship, that's definitely where he wants to be. He's had a very successful season so far, and he'll be looking to extend that one today.
Sorry to burst your bubble. There's actually Dan Allenson on pole. Those are the practice times. Yep. Right, so yeah, we got Dan Allenson on pole, Jimmy Hughes second, Lee Ross third, Tamas fourth. Just to update you quickly on the standings before the drivers get to the grid. Jimmy Hughes still leads the championship by 3 points to Dan Allenson. We have Nick Hughes who's moved himself into third. Because of his double retirement from last week, Lee Ross has now moved out of the top 10. We'll have to see how well he does today. We have seen him very edgy in battle. He perhaps needs to do a bit of a Grosjean from F1 and be a bit more cautious this week. And I think this week it is vital more than ever, as we're actually going onto the grid straight away. And are we off? I have no idea. We are off. Mr. Cameraman, please can you go to the race? Oh no. Right, so there we go. We are off now and looking. We have Danson there in first. We got Nick Hughes there in fourth. Tamas fourth. Well, just about losing the position there actually. On board now with Dan Allenson. It looks like he's had a decent start actually, but Jimmy Hughes just there straight away. We've seen this from week to week. These two are battling like absolute madmen over this championship. So we got Nick Hughes there right behind them. The gap already so easy to see. These two are just a class above rest of the field, and as we go down this back straight, it's going to be very interesting to see how this race pans out. A much tighter circuit, a much more bumpy circuit actually than the other ones we've been to is Londrina. So I guess, should we see a repeat of last week, or do you think these two might actually find contact today, Liam?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. As you say, this track is very, very different. It's very reminiscent of what I think to be Interlagos. There's the big slide in the back. A few of the cars going off track there, so something's I'm feeling one of them's pulled over, but luckily there was still through okay. It's very tight and twisty, but it again has that elevation change which Interlagos does possess. And I think this could catch a few drivers out today. Once again, as you noted though, we are seeing Allenson and the two Hughes brothers now pull away from the rest of the field, and then come the cavalry just behind them. But it's looking I think we could see a few more bits of contact today, maybe a few more edgy bits of racing, as you said. Due to the track nature, it's almost like a toned down Interlagos in terms of track width, because it can get very tight and very twisty, and if you do go for a bit of a daring move towards the end, we can see a couple of incidents, so just watch out for that one as Allenson tries to hold off that inside line for now, and it's definitely working. He knows what it's like to win a race here. He's just got to keep trying to do that and hammer away those lap times while Hughes just alleviates that pressure and just will not get off the back end of it.
Right, so we've finished lap 1 there. We're on 22 and majority minutes before we end the race. We think we've sorted out the timing system, it must be said, for today. But currently there is Dan Allenson, followed by Jimmy Hughes, Nick Hughes, then Lee Ross, who will be trying to keep out of trouble today. We've got Brugman going up into 5th there. We've got the likes of Fanschmidt, De Wilt and Casademont in the top 10 as well. We've been seeing these drivers slowly develop over time, but one person who I do not see in that top 10 actually is Mark Gormley, who's been Mr. Consistency over the past 3 races. It looks like he's had a bit of an issue early on in the race. Quite a shame. He did excellently last week, actually 2 weeks ago, getting 4th position, his best position so far. Of course, if he's had an issue early on in this race, it might be hard for him to fight back. Crossing the line now, you've got 22 minutes to go. It looks like Mr. Dan Allenson and Jimmy Hughes have already pulled away from the field. Then we have this battle between Nick Hughes and Lee Ross, who's a bit behind. As I've mentioned many times, Lee Ross needs to tone down his aggression, because when he gets into battles, he just gets a little bit too edgy. And it looks like he's actually holding back, because we know that his speed is very great from the front 4. Otherwise he wouldn't have won in week 2 there. But there we go, getting on board now with Tamas fourth. We've got Lars Brugman there behind him, and the whole cavalry of cars just fighting over position. It's an absolute wonder how people haven't made contact yet. Of course, did make contact earlier. Also in the top 10, we have Mr. David Kuthil, a bit of a surprise package up there. We've seen him improving as we have Lars Brugman moving on the inside of Tamas Voth, but there's nothing doing there. He needs to get in the slipstream a bit longer. Going into this left-hander now, nothing to be doing there, and Tamas Voth holds position very well. In 8th behind Brugman, we have De Wilt. He's also a steady improver, and as we've said before, Kuthil there in 10th, fending off Kassedmunt. Just and see if Kuthil can get his first, I believe, top 10 position in race 1.
Definitely be gunning for it. As you can see, they're just trying to sweep around the outside. It's so tricky, especially in a big group of cars like you're seeing at the moment. They're all piled just behind each other, trying to all search for the same manoeuvres. Not going into a tight corner is never going to work, though. You can see there that 00 car, Kuthil looking aggressive, looks to the inside then, as it's a drag race into that corner. Let's see if he can just about make it stick. I think he may just lose out. Swipes across, so that's a bit cheeky, I think. And maybe a couple of harsh words said inside that cockpit right now, but nonetheless, he still carries on. You can't let kind of things get to you.
And just behind, sorry to cut you off there, we've got Remco de Wilt losing out there to a new driver, I believe. I'm not too sure on the name, but very good overtaking move to take advantage of the Constantina effect that all stemmed off with Tamas Voth cutting over Lars Brugman there. And I think it pays, an absolute... I'm trying to think of the right word there, contribution the circuit makes to the racing. If you've got someone in front of you, he cuts ahead, you're going to get a Constantina effect, not just on the straights, mind you, but in the corners as well. And the corners are where you're going to get time here, because this track is absolutely chocked full of them, tight corners. And actually, here we go, we've got Lars Brugman on the inside of Tamas Voth once again. It looks like he's got the job done. Tamas Voth can attempt to hold on to the outside, but no. And oh no, that's Remco de Wilt going off there, and it looks like he might have just retired there, so a shame for de Wilt there in the background. But no, it looks like Lars Brugman has got the job nicely done. Next up the road is Fanch. Actually, he's found himself up in 5th. As I said before, he had a bit of an issue in Interlagos first week. Crashed, can't remember who he crashed into. I think it might have been Luke Walsh, actually. But over time, we've seen this driver develop absolutely incredibly well. And to see him in 5th is a testament to how well he's improved. And it's good to see him up there, not causing any trouble, defending his position well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what he needs to do as well, of course. There isn't too much left in the season now. I've just got to really try and hammer in those good results. Seeing a great view there as they come over the top of that crest and then just fly down through the corner. Just seeing all those minis so agile as they come down now. Of course, this isn't the start finish straight. It was the start finish straight. You see that big white wall as the pit box. As they come down now, you're going to see a little bit of slipstream in there. I don't think it's going to be a move just yet. You've got to be so careful where you do dart for the move. And it's looking very close to home. Very well so far. They've got to be said by all teams and drivers. Maybe very reserved and calm out there. They're not too many aggressive manoeuvres just yet as they all funnel their way through. I think that's Scott Webber there. I think it's down to P21. That could be the car we saw dive into the pit lane. They'll have to try and pick some updates on that. You've got Hunter there in 22nd as well. So very good. I'm sure those two want to try and push their way to the forward end of the front as soon as possible. As you can see, a good view here of them going round. Turning left on that sharp hairpin and then coming back up down that straight. But still, Allington leads from the two Hughes brothers, and it looks like he's still going to have his work out for him.
Absolutely. So here's a little view of Scott Webber, and actually saw in the picture before. And oh no, is that he's gone off? So pitting again? Goodness me. Something is not right with that car today, and saw Remco de Wilt attacking. Is that Remco de Wilt as well? Pitting for the second time. I'm not sure what's happening. They might have picked up penalties somewhere. No, it looks like he's genuinely, and there's Ken Hunter in as well. It looks like he is genuinely pitting, so issues somewhere along the field for these drivers, but I guess it has to be expected in such a tight circuit. There will be contact if people are trying to go down in places where they shouldn't be. And that is racing, I presume, and it's a shame to see these people solo down. But of course, to remind you, for race 2 we have the 100% reversed grid, and these drivers will ultimately benefit from that. Back up at the front now, we have Dan Allinson and Jimmy Hughes, and where on earth has Nick Hughes gone from? Oh wait, actually Nick Hughes has fallen behind Lee Ross. I'm not sure whether Lee Ross made a manoeuvre or whether Nick Hughes found himself off track, but the gap between these two couples now is reasonably large, and although you'd say, well, it's, same old, it is, as I said before, a testament to how good these drivers are. The fact that Dan Allison and Jimmy Hughes yet again are up at the front and pulling away at a rate of knots. It's absolutely fantastic to watch, and hopefully we'll see some good racing from both of these couples as the race continues. Going down the field now, we've got Van Schmidt still in 5th. Fourth, goodness me, looks like Fourth got absolutely mugged there. He wasn't 6th, he's just been overtaken by Brugman, a new man, although it looks like the two are still fighting for position, and Casademont they're still in 9th, and Kuthil still holding on in 10th. Hopefully holding on from Anderson, who is, of course, Van Schmidt's teammate. Going around this left-hander now, Jimmy Hughes looks like he's definitely not giving up. He'll be wanting to overtake Allison at any opportunity he can. And we've seen that this man is very tactically alert. We've seen Dan Allison time and time again fall to his tricks and think, oh, I've got this manoeuvre. On a straight, Jimmy Hughes overtakes him, and then he doesn't get a chance to overtake again at the end of the race. Of course, as I've said before, tighter circuit, possibly not as much chance for Jimmy here today.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Right now, though, he's looking fairly comfortably. It reminds me very much, for anyone who watches the kind of iRacing broadcast, of Gregor Houtu. He's very calm, very collected, and he doesn't have to start darting all over the track, looking for opportunities, slicing and dicing behind Allison to make himself present in, Allison's kind of mindset. All he's going to do is park his car there, keep it in that rear view mirror, and make his presence known. Make Dan kind of go, oh, okay, I'll have to step up my game a bit and I'll push a bit harder. And that's where the mistakes are going to come. As you've already noted, this track is very tight. Opportunities for overtaking are very limited. So it's going to take something a bit out of the ordinary for Allison to maybe surrender that position, I think. So we'll have to see what Jimmy can do. But as we said, he's just right now keeping his presence there, making sure Dan's very much aware that Jimmy's there, making he trying to look for a maneuver now. No, not quite there. Allison holds inside line, but both these guys very similar driving styles, and Hughes almost had a bit of a sniff, but shut the door to Dan Allison, not having any of that day. 14 minutes left in the race, but question is, who will be in the lead at the end of it? Hughes almost looks up the inside, and that would have been a sure rear punting off, so very well decided to not go for that one. But right now, though, Jimmy's just reeled him in, though. I think we could see a little position switch maybe as they climb that hill. You can see that's a great view there.
Behind him, isn't he? But it's all about timing, and as I said, Jimmy's a tactically alert man. He'll know when to make the right position. Is he going to make the move in for today? No, Allison is definitely holding his line. Jimmy's looking to the right, where there's not really much space to get through, it must be said. 13 minutes to go as well. I think Jimmy might be wanting to hold on for a bit, just trying to keep up. It looks like Dan Allison's definitely up to his pace for the moment. Is that a back marker already we're reaching? Goodness me. There in the distance you see Lee Ross holding on to Nick Hughes. And I think the important thing for Jimmy Hughes today is damage limitation. I mean, I've said it before, he leads the Drivers' Championship by 3 points. Remember that we've got the two results, on the two worst results actually, dropped from the overall scores. Even though Jimmy Hughes is in second here today, it might not necessarily change the table that much, but he does want to keep as close to Allison as possible. As we look down the field, great racing going on here, and that's Thomas Voth and Lars Brugman once again side by side going down this top straight. It'll be interesting to see who's ahead. It's Thomas Voth at the moment. Lars Brugman looks to the right, and nope, the move is not going to be done there. Great battling though for these bottom four position. As Casademont on the inside of Kuthil, it looks like a do or die manoeuvre, and he does get the job done, so well done to him. He's up into 9th, and it's actually interesting to see that Kuthil was going for 10th, but he's right back on the inside of him, and he's going to switch over once again to favour Casademont there, as Thomas Voth tries to pull away from this battle, and it is indeed Casademont who comes out of the final corner ahead of Kuthil. Great battling for these positions, and actually up ahead we see there Van Schmidt holding off actually from Brugman. Yeah, I'm getting the wrong people. Voth is battling with the new guy who I still don't know the name of, but there we go. Van Schmidt is fighting with Brugman up the top there. Thomas Voth defending very well. And goodness me, did you just see Casademont's car flying there? Very aggressive circuit, it must be said.
Oh, indeed it is. It really does bring out another side to the drivers, as they once again climb nailed Thomas Voth. As you said, they're holding on very nicely at the moment. He's got to keep it as 11 minutes to go, and I think that's a sign of motivation, of course, because just in front of him he's got the likes of, you've got Fanny, I think, just in front, so he's not too far away. So you've got to see what Tamas can do, and I believe at the moment, if you are watching this, there are some broadcast issues. They are working on those, so don't leave just yet. We're trying to get them fixed as soon as possible. We'll do our best to try and provide some radio commentary. But right now, though, Tamas Fod looking very, very handy right now. It's got to be said.
Absolutely. So it's definitely good to say that. Well, oh goodness me, is that Lars Brugman on the inside of Fanschmidt there? It looks like it. And the two go side by side once again to this final corner. Fanschmidt will have the inside though. Lars Brugman attempted to go right around the outside. Not going to be done there. And Fanschmidt holds on to position, but oh my goodness me, Brugman is still. He's not giving up. He's like a dog trying to hold on to the leg of his owner. And he's just not letting it shake whatsoever. He's still side by side going down this curved straight now. Will he have the inside for the next corner? And Fanschmidt just gets ahead. It looks like Brugman's thought better of his chances there. And he's fallen quite a bit back as well now. Might be in the clutches of Tamas Fod, and indeed he is in the clutches of Tamas Fod, and he'll be looking for a move as soon as possible, given that he's got the new man. Not quite sure on the name. Actually, Mr. Cameraman, could we check who number 8 is, so that we give him a name? It's unfair, I think, I'm calling him the new man for the moment. There we go, it's Benedetto. So, Benedetto in 8th has been harassing Tamas Fod for the past 5 laps or so, but now Tamas Fod is on the inside of Lars Brugman, and that was a brilliant move there. And oh no, Benedetto! As soon as we find out his name, he's off the track, but he's just about holding on. And although Casademont overtakes him, I think that was a very good save considering the elevation change, which he had to fight there as well.
Oh, absolutely, just great stuff here. And you can see he's going to be keen to get that back. He really has made a good impression on the rest of the world today, I should think. And of course, there's only Casademont in front of him. He's going to try and get him past as soon as possible. Of course, we saw Casademont. He's a very consistent racer. We've seen him play